Never in my life did I think that not only would I only be showering about once a week, that I would be fine with it. That was during winter though, and it's getting warmer, so that's probably over with.
Okay, let's go back a bit, because this all started almost a year ago now. To make a long story very short, I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for 10 years. For 8 of those years, I rented a tiny apartment on a fellow Potter friend's property right behind her house and above the ceramic studio that we all shared. Liam lived there with me for the last 5 of those years.
You're doing a lot of filming.
Yeah.
Hope you do a lot of editing.
Then in June of 2024, Bethany, my friend that owned the property we all lived on, told me she was going to sell the house and wanted to have it sold by September. So I was about to be packing a lot more than just ceramics.
Oh.
What?
These supports are hollow, so the channel was filled with bird shit.
Oh no.
For the record, it was filled with bird seed, not poop.
What are you doing? She wants to get in the bathroom, but she doesn't need to be in there. She can't get through. It's blocked with a bar. But she tries to go in there because she wants to go in there and find a nesting spot. She's got the hormones. How am I supposed to do this with you making noise? Look, she's just gonna make noise and I can't do anything about it. We were gonna do this anyways. We wanted to get a bus or something. A van would not really be enough room for us. So we were looking at getting a bus and renovating that. And then somebody hit Liam's car while it was parked. A FedEx driver hit his car while he was at work and then just left. And they couldn't get his tags or anything. And it was enough damage that the insurance company totaled it. And they gave him money for it. So we were going to take that money and use it towards doing this anyway. But then we were without a car for a while. So instead of a bus that Liam would have to drive to work every day, a small bus, but it still would be very cumbersome to have to drive that to work every day. We decided to get a camper that we could tow and then get a truck. And thankfully we decided that, but like right after we decided that, Bethany told us that she's gonna sell the house. So then we had to do it very, very quickly. So what we thought we had about a year to do, we ended up needing to do in like about 3 months. Fun!
So the scramble was on. We found a cheap and beat up 20-year-old Toyota Tundra on Facebook Marketplace that needed more than $2,000 in repairs and decided to make payments on a brand new camper instead of searching for an old one. Buying used would have been a gamble for something so prone to hidden leaks and other nightmares that we are not qualified to deal with and didn't have time or money to fix. There's a lot we do differently in hindsight, but, well, here we are.
How's my hair?
It's fabulous.
Let's take a quick poorly filmed tour of our humble abode before we made any changes to it. We ditched this mattress for the one we were already using, but here's the sleeping area. We have a small kitchen space with an electric heater and propane stove, a small fridge and microwave, a cramped dinette we have since Frankenstein. We have a bathroom with a Nomadic toilet and a relatively spacious shower compared to something like a wet bath. There's also a closet back here. I absolutely loathe all this ugly-ass millennial gray, so I kind of jumped the gun to paint it because we didn't have enough time, or money for that matter, to finish it.
This black bar on the top
Yeah.
has a big, thick lip on it. I
Yeah.
can't go like this because that won't go through the wood. Kind of hastily bought this saw. And I can't. This is like my whole life. I got to tools to do the thing, but there's this crazy fucking nonsense getting in my way. I have just a tool for this thick. Maybe. Power tools! I should be wearing eyewear than maybe respiratory stuff.
Mostly eyewear, but it's all good. Just do it.
Yes, just hold my breath.
I think you gotta turn it up. I think the knob.
I tried that, it slowed it down.
No, the other one.
This?
This. What is that for? Does that make it? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Lori found a very discreet dial that...
I mean, you just can barely see it, right?
Right, but there's a yellow turn there.
I'm kidding.
But this switch actually has numbers on it, so I changed this, but I didn't even think about that.
Then?
Results may vary.
So this just kept going off to the side, and we thought we were doing something wrong. Over and over again. It's not us. I mean, no, we're not great, trust me. This doesn't stay level. It has a setting where you can set the angle, and we set it at 0, and then you start going, and then the vibration makes it curve because it's a cheap. Shame on you, Ryobi. We're gonna go this way. Whee! Now by the time we get done cutting this table, it's gonna be like 2 inches wide. We finished it with the handsaw. We should have just used the handsaw the whole time. Lesson learned, guys. There were a lot of stupid little hiccups like this, and we wasted so much time on them. I didn't even start cleaning out my studio space until we had about a week or so left.
So I'm gonna make some changes on this channel, which sounds weird probably if you've been watching this tiny baby channel for a while. But it feels like a change to me because my intent was always to do like ceramics tutorials and stuff like that, and I always had ideas for those, and I had intentions on doing more of those, and it just never happened because I guess I just don't actually feel like doing it. Basically, like I guess I just don't have like a passion for doing that, and so I'm just trying to like actually listen to myself and do things that do excite me. Like when I made those videos a few years ago that I ended up posting here anyways, that were supposed to just be for my mom. Like, I loved making those when me and Liam went to Colorado and just hiked and had a little vacation. I love filming those types of things in nature, and I like talking about trying to just be a full-time artist because it's a struggle. It doesn't have to be, but for me it is because my brain does not cooperate with me ever. But I think there's value in that, and I like sharing that kind of stuff with you because I know I'm not the only one, and I want you to know that you're not the only one. So I'm gonna change the name of the channel, and the reason is because it's not a Lori Phillips Ceramics channel. It's gonna have Liam in it a lot more too because he's kind of going through his own struggles with being a potter and things like that, and we just want to share that with you. And now we have all these big changes with living in this, and it's not been what we wanted it to be so far. And I think anybody that's lived slightly nomadic or very nomadic can tell you that nothing is what you expect and nothing goes your way. So I just want to vlog about that kind of stuff. So it'll still be very ceramic centric because that's what I do. And I still want to talk about art and I still want to talk about work, but I also want to go hiking and see things, and I want to film it and share it with people. So if you ever came here thinking that you were just going to see a bunch of ceramic tutorials, you have my permission to bail because you're probably not going to. I will never know you left. It's okay. There's hardly anybody here anyway. It's a very tiny channel, and I think that that's good because now I can kind of just make it what I want it to be. I did also start another channel not too long ago, maybe a year ago, but I've been uploading there regularly too. If you don't already know about that, if I card to it, there'll be a link here somewhere. It's usually here, and that's just about how I started watercoloring as a hobby. It's Lori Started Painting, so you can check that out too if you feel like it. But we're gonna change the name to Broken Slip Trails because slip trailing is a ceramics technique. If you're not a potter, just so you know, slip is liquefied clay that you can sort of decorate on your wares with, almost like a cake decorator would squeeze out a tube of, See, my brain doesn't work. I can see what I'm trying to say. I can see the object in my head. Icing, that's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. I am getting older, but my brain has always been that way my whole life, and it's only gonna get worse now that I'm over 40. So yes, slip is just something people decorate their wares with sometimes. I'll put a picture up as an example. So it's slip trailing, and it's broken slip trails, because you'll find out. You'll find out the more I post videos.
Obviously, the trails pun is because hiking outdoors. Just completely forgot to mention that.
About how nothing goes how we want it to. So that's the joke. Ha ha! So that's what's happening here. Just a heads up if you see a video come up in your feed and you're like, I never subbed to a channel called Broken Slip Trails. It's me. Hi! It's so nice to just be able to sit out here without a coat and freezing. It's like 70 degrees out. There's a family of hawks that live over here, and they've been noisy all day, and I love it. And I have one tiny little girl that thinks she's a hawk. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I don't know what, it's a new mic. I don't know what it'll pick up and what it won't pick up. When I bring Beaker with me places, she's in her little travel case, which she has a love-hate with. But I just brought her out here with me because she was alone in the trailer and she was kind of meeping and sad, and I felt bad, so I brought her out. So now she can meep out here and be like, what's going on? I have a lot of stuff that I filmed of our trip coming out here. I'm in Connecticut. We came out here from Arizona, as you probably know. I'm gonna make a separate video of that trip. The hell was that? And then another video about how we've been basically stuck here in Connecticut for about 6 months. And there's been pros and cons to that, but it's not what we want, and we're trying so hard not to be stuck here anymore. I'm sure a lot of people that know me are also wondering how I'm making ceramics this way, so I'll talk about that along the way too. But I just wanted to put a video out there to tell you all what's going on and let you know what I want to do here. So you can join me if you're new here. I'm Lori, and I'm a full-time potter. I've been a full-time potter since 2018, and I've been in ceramics for 25 years. So here you go. You're caught up. We're in Liam's dad's backyard, by the way. That's where we've been kind of stuck at for 6 months. Could be better, could be worse, but I'll talk about that in another video. Talk about it later.
There are so many other things I could go on about. Thankfully for us, Bethany's moving date was pushed to October because it took us almost 3 more weeks to finally be able to leave. We got rid of so much stuff. I gave away literally almost everything I own, including dried up boxes of clay and dozens of glazes we just didn't have the room or weight capacity to take. Truckloads of things went to Goodwill, and this pile is probably about a quarter of the things that went into the trash. The only thing I sold was my wheel to Bethany.
You ready for adventure? You're doing alright. You ain't even paying attention to me.
As thrilled as I was to finally start this transition, there was plenty of bittersweet to be had. Arizona was my home for a decade, and there's so many things I already miss. The salt cedar trees in the yard and at a nearby park. Having a porch for all our plants. Having a wall of handmade mugs to choose from for coffee every morning, most of which are now in storage here at Liam's dad's. The Phoenix Public Library. Having amazing murals around nearly every corner of the city. Taking a Waymo everywhere for the 6 months we were without a car.
Hey, Lori.
The Phoenix Art Museum, which was one of the last things we got to take a Waymo to. What I'm going to miss most of all, by far, is Arizona's incredible landscape, even in the middle of the city. But especially once you leave the city, Hauling a camper for the first time is pretty nerve-wracking, but we were relieved to finally be on our way. We had no idea how many things were going to go wrong before we even got to New England, let alone that today, 7 months later, we would still have not made it to Vermont.
Does that say skin corn?